Good morning everyone. So today we have a few jobs planned. Firstly, we're expecting rain today, which will be a good thing because this solar panel up on the roof needs cleaning, as do the other two, but they're easier to clean. It's just very dusty up there from the dust clouds that we've had. So hopefully we'll get enough rain to clean that. However, what we're also going to be doing today is moving our IBC on the land up to the top, but we'll show you a little bit about that later and the reason why. So, but whilst we're doing some water work, we're going to go down the land and get a piece of hose, and hopefully it will fit onto this tap, and then what that will enable us to do is fill up our water here just a lot easier. But also what it will do is it will enable me to, maybe with the pressure in that tap, I'll be able to shoot the water up onto the roof to clean that solar panel, and that will make the solar panel more efficient as well. With the rain also coming, what we thought, we don't know how much rain we're going to get, if any, really. I felt a little bit of it just a minute ago, but so what we're also doing is trying to get as much solar into our solar boxes, our power stations, as we can at the moment as well. So we've got everything charging, albeit on some dusty solar panels, but we've got everything charging just in case it goes a little bit dull over the next few days. So yeah, we've also got water heating up on here. I don't know if you've seen this, but since we've had warm weather, we've been able to use these, and the sun heats these up, and then by the end of the day, some really warm water for our showers. Probably not going to happen today, it's quite dull. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll get up the land and we will move that one IBC, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that when we get up there. Coming through.
Oh, hello.
And also today for our lunch, Elaine's going to be making some flatbreads.
Yep, just knocked up a little quick dough, and we're going to, excuse me, we're going to leave it while we're out and about doing all the little jobs that we have to do today.
Yep, so what type of flatbread is it? Is it yeast? No.
Yes.
A yeast one.
So plain flour, salt, yeast, a little bit of water. Didn't even bother warming the water up today, it was just room temperature. And it'll sit out there till we're ready.
Yeah, and it'll rise a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I'm sure it will.
Make it soft, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Lovely, yeah, it'll be 2 minutes.
So I'll get the stuff in the car and we'll get up the land. So I'm going to remove the hose from the pump to see if that's going to work. Looking at the hose looks just a little bit wider than the adapter actually for the tap, but I'm going to take the hose off here and give it a try.
Then we can get the pump put away so it's not sitting out in the heat of the summer as well. Yeah, it's going to be better.
Yeah, because this pump is powered by a generator. Besides that, well, having said that, it was just another thought I had, but the generator's kind of irrelevant at the minute because we haven't got any water to pump anyway.
Yeah.
At the moment, so
we don't really want to take any more out of the pond because we don't want to empty it. We want to leave what's there to see how it's going to work throughout the heat of the summer, don't we?
That's right. There is still water in the pond, probably 2 meters, maybe 2 meters at the deepest end. Yeah, so it seems as though the water is holding in there at least, but not too much of it.
Yeah.
So the idea then is to try and see if I can get this hose. That's quite tight. I think we did a good job originally on that one. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so that can just be packed away for the summer.
Yep.
And then we'll try and attach this. Looks like it's going to be good. We'll attach that to that, cut off about a couple of meters, and then we can attach this down to our
Tap outside the house.
That's the word. Our tap on the land. Yeah.
Darren's got the end fitted onto the tap attachment.
Yeah.
And it's going to chop off the required length.
So we think about 2 meters will probably be tidy. So that's about one. And that's about another. So I think about there.
Just go for it, yeah.
I mean, it's not a science, is it? So we forgot to bring a knife down to cut it. So I'm using this metal saw, antique metal saw, which we were gifted yesterday. Yeah, really pleased with it. It's a really cool thing. Yeah. It will make a nice decoration, at least, in our little house down the land.
Quite beautiful.
It is. Oh, we'll go here. I think that's a good length. Yeah?
Yep. Go for it. Okay, so while Darren is finishing those other jobs, I'll show you another little job that we have got done. Try and speak properly. And it's with this lovely apple tree. So if you've followed our journey, you will know that when the land was cleared, we asked the guy that was clearing it to leave as many of the native trees as possible, and in doing so he found lots of little oak trees and 2 established apple trees. Neither of them were in good health, so we trimmed them right back, probably a lot more than we should have, considering the sort of quarter rule. But they were quite diseased, so a lot of them got cut right back. But this one is doing phenomenally well. So let's have a look at it. We took out a lot of the branches, and you can see right down here we cut off 2 big ones that were coming out the side that were all diseased. We were still unsure about the one right at the back, but it seems to be doing fine. And then I cut the length back quite a lot, but they've grown, all of the branches have grown and are bearing a lot of fruit, a lot of fruit. So what I did yesterday was I did a bit of summer pruning, just taking off. So this is one of the existing branches, and all of the new growth was coming from this point here and coming right out like this. So if I understood correctly, you look 2 or 3 nodes along, because that's your fruit bearing for next year, and then you can make a cut. So that's the plan that I took, and anything that looked sort of very spindly I just cut out completely. And then what I did was I took off half of the fruit. So as you can see here, there's still masses and masses of fruit on each fruiting section. Oh, I've even missed that one as well there. So I've been taking off all the small ones and just laying them all around the base with the trimmings to act as a natural mulch. I tried to leave 2 or 1 apple on each section, but there's another one that I've missed, so I'll just twist that one off as well. And then the plant won't be struggling to produce lots of fruit. It'll just produce a few larger fruits. Clearly I did a better job on this branch here, because they're all just in 2s and 1s. And then all of the chopped off bits are just mulching around, and the little apples that are all immature as well.
So I'm just bringing all the pipe together, all the hose up into one space so we can cover it.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking, well, firstly it's quite an expensive piece of kit, this hose, so we want to protect it if we can from the sun. I don't want it to degrade.
Yeah.
keep it as long as we can, I think. So yeah, just bringing this all up here. We're not going to be using this
not for the next few months.
For the next few months, no. So we'll pack it away.
Get tidied up.
Yeah, a bit tidy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'll just show everybody what I was doing in the greenhouse yesterday. So come with me. I'll come round the back, past the IBCs, into the greenhouse. So, what did I do yesterday? I tidied it all out, for one thing. All the leftover bits of wood that we've used, the planks for the walls of the garden house, I've kept all of those, so I've brought them all in and got them stacked. Down here are leftover bits that we used for the skeleton and for the rafters. They're all in there too, because they're still all useful. Then I weeded and dug up half of my garlic. It's not too fabulous. If you've grown garlic before, you'll see that it's not too big because it's been very dry, even though it was in all winter, but it hasn't split into individual bulbs. You need a really cold temperature. You need like a good cold snap in the winter for that to happen, and it just never got cold enough. So these are still all usable, but they're like one large bulb. So, but that's just half. And then I also took out all of my white onions. They grew quite well. They are fairly small, again, probably because it's been so dry. They didn't bulk up, but I've used all of the smallest ones, probably about 500 grams, in a chilli that I'm making for tonight, and I've just left them whole. I also left some peas on the pod to dry out, and they have dried beautifully, as you can hear from the lovely sound. So I'm just giving them a last day or two to dry out, because one or two are a bit more green than the others, and then that's my peas ready to be planted later in the winter when the rains come. I've also popped on a few more lettuce, some pak choy, some more marjoram, and a few beetroots. We'll give them a chance to pop up. I imagine they'll only take a week or so. Stay there, Max, we won't be long.
Oh.
You still see us.
Good boy. Be a minute.
The reason we're moving the IBC today is to get set up for when the rain comes in the winter. You've seen our tree section with all our fruit trees in, and if we can move the IBC further up the land, we'll have a good amount of gravity to feed the water down to them, and probably get a second IBC and then set up some kind of water capture system over the top of it by putting a roof on it.
So yeah, as Elaine explained, what we could do is get this IBC to the top of the land. We can get another IBC, and using these fence posts, we can set up some kind of roof system over the IBCs, which will then filter the water down. So these are quite handy. So we've got quite a lot of the stuff already here that we bought for other purposes, but we're going to kind of repurpose it, I suppose, and rethink it. And it's quite a high hill, isn't it, really? It's quite a steep hill, should I say. So I think we will get quite a bit of good gravity fed water coming down there. We've just got to get the water up there in the first place.
Yeah, just got to carry this IBC again to another place.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But just because you do something once doesn't mean that it's right. That's what we've said about this all along.
Yeah, we're learning.
We're learning the land, we're learning the climate, and you adapt and you change.
Well, I think a really good point there, what you've made about learning and adapting, is we thought that this tarp here might be able to collect some water for us into the IBC. It probably collected a little bit.
Yeah, about
But also what's
10
happened...
litres.
Yeah, about 10 litres maybe. But what has also happened is that that tarp has quite degraded in the sun since. So maybe when we come to make our roof at the top, our roof structure to collect the water, maybe a tarp might not be the option that we were thinking of. It'd be the cheapest option, but if it only lasts for one summer...
Well, we haven't even got into the peak of the summer yet, and it's
already degraded quite a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if it's really going to be able to give you a perspective from where I'm standing, but I'm trying to keep the camera as level as possible. I'm standing somewhere I'm standing somewhere in the middle of the food forest tree area, and Elaine is up what is a reasonably steep hill, probably about 3 meters higher than me, maybe. Yeah, something like that. So that's what we've decided to do. We're going to put the IBC about where Elaine is. We can put some water capture system there, and we can then put a hose coming down all the way here into the tree forest area. Okay, so this is the space that we've chosen to put the IBC. Just taking a breather from carrying it up. Quite heavy, actually, surprisingly heavy. So, be quite a nice spot, we think, because it's got these trees here. We've got a cork oak here, an oak, and an oak, and another little one there. And the area is quite flat. So the idea is that it will shade the IBC a little bit. Yeah, once the trees grow bigger, we'll get a bit of shade.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my lord. Tell me when we're there.
Stop.
Yeah, looks quite good in that spot. It's already quite shaded, but yeah. And then we can build this structure over the top of it, just there, and try and collect some water. Here we are in the food forest area again, and then yeah, that's the IBC in place now. I think that will give a nice bit of gravity fed water down to this area. As you can see, it's very dry at the moment. I mean, things are growing, but yeah, it's very dry. So I think that once we get water into it will be a really good system, and we're going to get another one. Yeah, we'll have 2 of them. We're off to collect some drinking water. We'll tell you a little bit about that on the way, because we're now no longer collecting our drinking water from our neighbour. Bit of a long story. We're not quite sure the full story, but anyway, we're going to go get some water, some drinking water, and we'll take you with us. I'm going to get soaked, aren't I? Yeah, so mission accomplished. So we've got the hose attached to the tap, and it's cleaned our solar panel really well. Actually, it's done a really good job. It was a little bit treacherous under there, to be honest with you, but it worked all right. Yeah, so what we're going to do now is we're going to prime which we found a little priming thing. We're going to prime our Berkey filters. So Elaine will explain why we're now going to be reverting back to using our Berkey system, which we haven't used for a couple of years, hence having to reprime the filters. Yeah, but Elaine will explain why we're doing that.
Okay. Yeah, so the reason that we are going to use the civic amenity water to make it clear what we're doing for our drinking is because we have the Berkey, so why not? And the drinking water in the village has always been situated inside one of our neighbours' gardens, and she's been having some issues with that. Strangely, it occurred at the same time that we had our civic water put on, but it has absolutely nothing to do with it, we've learnt. It's something to do because it comes from miles away from a spring, quite far away. There is a holding tank at the top of the village, and the holding tank has, the lining of it has degraded, and that caused sort of the flow of the spring water to slow, and probably meant that the water wasn't as good as it could have been. So she's had some work done on it, and the holding tank is now being repaired, and we don't want to take any water from her if there's a situation with regard to that, or if it's like a low volume of water because it's been so dry. So we're going to use the system that we've got. We've got our civic water, we've got our Berkey, and we've still got access to the water fountain just in the next village along, which is really simple and delicious water. So Darren's going to try priming the Berkey filters and see if we can get a good tasting water out of that, because we do drink a lot of water.
Okay, so this is our setup. These are our Berkey water filters. The idea is we put this little rubber thing on here, little rubber priming tool, and we push water from this through there, and it basically just primes the system. We have to do it until we see water coming through, and all that means is that, yeah, this is going to work as a filtering system. We have 2 of these ready to go, so let's give it a go, see if it works. So I'm going to hold this tight like that, as tight as I can anyway.
Yeah.
And if you could then put the pressure water on a little bit. There we go. See how it's coming out?
Yeah, it's starting to
So that's
come
primed.
through there.
Yeah. So turn the tap off, please.
No, because I can see a little spurt and it's soaking your shirt. It's quite funny. Oh.
Okay, first attempt. That worked. And we'll prime this one now. Same system. I have to hold it on quite tight. When you do it on a tap, you can just push it up against the tap. Obviously,
Yes,
that might be
but
an easier way of doing it, but we've got a hose on it now, so we're going the hose way. So ready when you are? Yeah. Oh, that's already straight away.
Whoa.
Okay,
Done?
I think that was primed, wasn't it? Was that coming out?
It was oozing out, yeah, through all the little pores. So
Brilliant. So that's them. Okay. So that's them primed. Now we're going to put them into the Berkey machine. Well, not a machine.
just into the Berkey filter, isn't it?
We're going to put them into the Berkey container. Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully we can filter our municipal water into drinking water.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that bit of water that just popped out, I'll put on the vine, because look at these grapes already.
So this is our Berkey water filtering system, and the idea is that we put water into the, well, we put municipal water into the top container here. It filters through these filters that we've just primed into the bottom tank,
Which has a tap on.
which has a little tap on. Yeah, so I've got to put these into here now, seal them in with their little rubber seals here, and then we should be ready to go. Let's give it a go. Okay, so that now with our 2 filters in place, we'll pop that into place, and feel tight. They should be ready to filter water for us.
Yep, so then you just pour the water in the top, you just leave it. When we used it before, we used to just fill it up on a night, didn't we? And then just leave it, and it was all freshly filtered by the morning.
Yeah, it can take a while. Yeah.
Yeah. This was the door that I put on before we went out to do the jobs. It's just a small amount, enough for 2 large flatbreads, 1 inch for lunch, and there you go, done and in the pan. And we did a full video about this. I'll try and see if you can.
I'll find it. Yeah, we'll link it. Yeah.
Link it back. And what we're going to have on today is some avocado and poached eggs.
Morning everyone. So it's the next day down the land, and we're getting on with some work on the house now that the roof's on. Elaine's inside at the moment, just giving it a sweep out inside there, which is quite a nice stage forward now, having the roof on the house. Really nice. Kind of changes things. Our friend down the street from us has made us a door and 3 windows for the tiny house. I think we're having a fitting this morning as well. He's going to bring the door down, quite a heavy piece of wood apparently, and we're going to try and fit it on and see how it fits. See how it fits in its space. I've also bought the little Conqueccio coffee machine down as well. I've got it set up in the greenhouse here with us for a coffee in a little while. It's on charge at the moment because I forgot to do that last night, and yeah, maybe that might be able to give us a coffee in an hour or so when we're ready for one. So yeah, so what we'll do now is we'll just get on with yeah, our bits and bobs jobs today, and yeah, see how we go. I'm just going to get a photograph of the first fitting of the door, if that's all right.
Sure.
There you go. Not bad at all, is it?
Yeah. Can't swing it open because it's just sitting in place. But...
Yeah.
Oh, you can swing it open. You want to swing it open a bit? Come on.
It'll fall.
No, that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Dun, 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 something like this.
Very nice indeed.
Yeah. It's heavy.
It is heavy, yeah. Okay. So that's the first, yes, that's the first fit of the door. Just a few little adjustments now. Not many, to be honest with you. But we need to put a couple more bracings on that side of the door. We put the bracings on this side to hold it where we thought the hinge was going to be. The hinges were going to be, but now we have to put some extra on that side because we've decided to have the door opening in a different orientation. It'll all make sense later, hopefully. Okay, so brilliant. So that's the first fitting. Now we're just going to do a fitting with the window as well and just see how that is. So yeah, so this morning is just really just about checking out the orientation of the windows, and the fit of the windows, and just seeing how it's all coming together. And the door, of course, which is the bigger piece of wood and heavier. But yeah, it's looking really nice now. Roof's looking really good. Yeah, we're getting there.
Because you've already done a big explanation.
I know, but I haven't talked about that being the heater.
No.
Ever. Right.
So maybe it's just focus on the
Just
bits that you haven't talked about.
So we're just taking a little bit of a break from the house build, and I thought we'd get ourselves one of those coffees from this Conqueccio. So what I've done is I've put one of the little coffee pods in the bottom here. So that's all ready to go. Now I've got to just put the water in the top here. And what I have discovered that this is the little heating element. This heats up the water. It's like a little cooker. So we'll just pop the water in there. Pop the lid back on. And we'll hold the button down for 3 seconds. There we go. In about 3 or 4 minutes time, we should have a lovely cup of coffee. Oh, there we go. In our collecting cup. So part of our morning's work today was taking all of these off down the end here and putting them all back on again. We kept it a little bit quiet on the previous videos, but we'd put them on a little bit wonky, a little bit not too straight. So we've decided before we go any further with the build that we will take them off and put them back on again. And it hasn't taken us that long actually. And now, not quite finished yet, but now they're looking a lot straighter, a lot more in line with the original boards. So we're just waiting for the drill to cool itself down a little bit now, because there's been a lot of and then we'll get on with the last two. Yeah. So not only have we got a window in, but we've also got coffee. Perfect. So we'll give it a try, see what it's like. Obviously you could just drink it out of this cup if you wanted to, I suppose. Okay. It's nice and warm. Really, which is the most important thing.
Hot.
Hot. Nice. Do you want to try, Elaine?
Please.
Yeah, certainly, yeah. Nice.
Yep, good and hot.
Done the job?
Done the job.
Brilliant. Back to the windows. So, that was a success, using the coffee on the go outdoors. Brilliant. I'm not going to drink it out of there. There we go. So, even though we have to take them all back off again.
Only this section.
Oh, yeah, not the whole building.
Not the whole build.
So, that's looking a lot straighter now and a lot tidier, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Looking really nice.
Yeah.
I'm pleased with that. Yeah, looking good.
When we took them off, you could even see that it's starting to weather.
Yeah.
So we need to get on and get finished our coatings.
Coatings, yeah. Yeah,
wood protected.
actually, yeah, the colour of this wood here compared to the colour underneath this overlap here. Yeah, this was underneath was very light. I don't know if that was the original colour, and this is darkened. Yeah, so we'll have to get looking at that, as Elaine says, yeah, and
Get it done very soon.
get it painted quite soon. Yeah, protected at least.
Well, I think that's about everything that we've got to show you for today. So I will say, if you've liked this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you want to ask any questions or make any comments, then put them in the comment section below. All of that interaction really helps our channel to grow. Thank you very much for spending time with us. Take care, and we will see you on the next one. Bye bye.